We all dream of a roof on our head, but not just a roof. Good sheltering is what we desire. The Property Show is part of your dreams as we inspire you with new architectural designs, affordable housing, and what the world of luxury inspires. Every week, discover the latest trends in construction, interior designing, and landscaping. Plus, get some hot land deals and hot property deals on properties available on the market. You want real estate? We make it real.
Welcome to this week's edition of the Property Show. Right where I'm standing is an open floor kind of setup kitchen. And this kitchen is fully furnished by Opane. If you're out there and you've been a lover of good things, but you've been importing everything, we are glad that during such a time when we are celebrating all this, we get to have this being launched on our market in Uganda. When we started at the Property Show, the Homes Expo, these were dreams. For this to come to life, it means so much. I won't say much. You just need to come down to the Chin Center at the Opane showroom for you to be able to experience what I'm experiencing. But just all you should know is everything was perfectly curated in here. Anyway, let's get into today's edition of the show and see what we have lined up for you.
Today on the Property Show.
Keep in mind that the housing sector at the moment we are talking about has a housing deficit of about 2.4 million than that, so we need more houses. But the question is, how do we get there?
For purposes of the reviewers, we have property rates that's administered by local governments.
Yes.
When we talk about property talk, we talk about all these other things, interior designing, landscape. At the end of it all, there are cores that if they're not in place, these things actually cannot thrive.
I'm joined by faces that are not new to you. They always say ladies first will break the rule. Far left to introduce yourself, Sebo.
Thank you very much, Edwin Vincent Agaba, and I work with Harvard's Housing Limited and also former President Area Uganda.
And to the lady.
Sisina Maganda, lead business CEO, Sinam Investments Limited.
The question is, when we talk about houses, we're talking about affordable housing. How do we get there? One, mortgage rates right now, we all know, are some of the highest, not just in the region, but globally. I don't know whether, Vincent, you're aware that in some of these countries, interest rates are as low as 1%, 2%.
It's not interesting to put your money in the bank.
In East Africa, there's a country that even has a 6%. Guess what? I just found out Dubai does not have income tax. Dubai's VAT at the moment stands at 5%, and on selected goods, starting with you, Vincent, listing through the different types of taxes, what does this mean for us as an industry?
For purposes of the reviewers, we have property rates that's administered by local governments.
Yes.
We have rental income tax that is administered by URA.
Government.
We have, of course, what we call stamp duty on transfer of titles. We have what we call capital gains in terms of the commercial investment. Now, I'm just mentioning a few.
There's also the 5% on land.
Exactly.
Land, yeah, transfer.
Yes. Now, aggregate those. That's the issue. Have we aggregated those taxes to know how much that is? Number two, are we investing an equivalent amount of money once these taxes are collected into the same sector? There is what we call the Uganda Land Information System, the UGNLIS. How much money has it made since it was put into place? If we invested into that.
Concern here is the housing sector. Sisi, where does this leave the industry? Especially for you who's in the affordable housing space, how are we going to attain affordability?
But if we go back to the allocation by the government, really housing sector has been left out. Yet it's the sector where government is targeting. Why can't government consider the housing sector? That one will motivate more people to invest.
If I could just add a bit there.
Please.
And I think there is a perception that in real estate people already have money. Yes, there could be some individuals that have money in the sector, but this is a handful. Because at the end of the day, the forces of demand and supply will also apply to tax collection.
There are several businesses that are shutting out. Many businesses are closing. And unfortunately, the tax authority has contributed to a huge percentage of the businesses closing. Now, at the end of the day, final take. What kind of industry shall we have in the next 1, 2, 3 decades?
It is the responsibility of the government to sensitize people on the taxes they're introducing to the public.
For me, Edwin, it's as I would like to maybe call upon the economists, the framers of these taxes and so forth, that let's look at the country as an investment. So as long as the tax and the government strategy is that we need to invest in order to harvest, it's no problem. Because at the end of the day, government has to collect taxes in order to run the public services. But the point is, how do you grow that tax base? You grow that tax base by incentivizing it. So can we get the taxes and say, guys, we are going to invest in this sector because it generates more of that tax.
Still to come.
If this body wasn't there, so where do you think the government is falling short?
Every country where real estate is thriving, there has been deliberate effort by the government in those countries to regulate the sector.
The property of the week.
Welcome to this edition of the Property Show, where we make sense of the real estate industry. My name is Christabel Musime and I am your host. And on set with me is Mr. Lazarus Mugabi. Mr. Lazarus, it's a pleasure having you on set.
It's a pleasure having you.
Now, when we talk about real estate and we talk about the pushers, we talk about the makers, we talk about the influencers, I mean the actual influencers that influence change in our real estate economy. We have Mr. Lazarus right at the top there. Now, when you hear about those real estate bills that keep moving here and there, you see in the news, real estate bill here, real estate bill there, amendment. When we talk about property talk, we talk about all these other things: interior designing, landscaping, construction. At the end of it all, there are cores that if they're not in place, these things actually cannot thrive. If we do not have voices voicing out for the larger population, 15 years ago, this would not have been realistic if this body wasn't there. He's a part of Area Uganda. So where do you think the government is falling short?
Thank you so much, Christabel. That's a good question. It has been a journey, and actually for me, for about 8 years, and Area Uganda. And we were just building from the foundation that was set or laid by the people that had been in Area Uganda before we took office. I wouldn't want to say that I fault government because we have moved a long way. Looking back those years, we didn't even have the land information system. There's been a lot of collaboration and advocacy through, of course, Area Uganda as the board, but also with the membership, because we have a membership of over 1,000. So there is that unifying voice that we put together to basically advocate for a regulated environment for all the real estate sector to be able to thrive. I mean, I've been privileged to travel in a few places around the world, but you'll see that in every country where real estate is thriving, there's been deliberate effort by the government in those countries to regulate the sector. And so there are laws that have been put in place, and I'll give an example of one that was really contentious, the Landlord and Tenant Act now. And we faced a lot of resistance, but I'm thankful to the team that is very resilient. At the end of the day, we were able to have that in. And now you can say that the relationship between the landlord and the tenant is well regulated. Otherwise, initially there was a lot of abuse from both ends.
From both ends, yes.
Yeah, a tenant would just run away without paying the rent, or a landlord would increase rent at an amount or any percentage at frequencies that were abnormal.
Abnormal, yes.
Right now, that cannot be done. So we are grateful to that. And what we have been asking really right now that is very crucial for our sector is having the Real Estate Act in place. Because we have signed many protocols with multinational associations. We have, for example, an MOU with the National Association of Realtors from the US. We also recently signed with FIABCHI, which is an acronym, but basically meaning the Real Estate Federation. It's based in France. And all we are doing is to try and benchmark the international practices in real estate. So when those agreements are signed, we get to partake of the values, we get to partake of their code of ethics, we get to learn how they operate in their countries and be able to put it here. So with the coming of the Real Estate Agents Bill or the Real Estate Act, if it's signed, I can say, God willing, by close of next year, it should be in.
Amen.
But when that comes in, it would simply mean that nobody can practice real estate in Uganda without being licensed. And you cannot be licensed unless you have been trained. So what we have done as Area Uganda is to go ahead and create a training arm, which is the Real Estate Institute of East Africa, which is actually training people around East Africa. And just to tell you a bit of a background, that is the basis upon which we were actually able to sign the MOU with FIABCHI to cover the whole of the East African region. So it's going to be a multinational chapter that covers all the East African countries, about 7 of them, I think. So we have that training arm, and we have done also chapters in different regions in Uganda, try and organize them and begin with the foundational courses on how they can be skilled to be able to practice as professionals in the industry. We have catered for the bottom, but we have also catered for the upper end.
Upper end, yes.
Yeah, for the upper end, after signing the MOU with NIR, which is the National Association of Realtors, we were able now to bring the internationally accepted courses or certified courses, like the CIPS, which is a Certified International Property Specialist course. And we also trained in the ABR, which is the Accredited Buyer's Representative. I think very soon we'll be pushing for the SRS, which is a Specialized Seller's Representative. It's a Specialized Seller's Representative, which is a course that we are looking forward to bringing here, and basically to try and train more people into the courses that are internationally
Recognized
and
yes.
recognized. So
yes.
That's what we are doing
That's
as Area Uganda, and the humble request to government is, can we please have the Real Estate Act in place?
In place.
Yes.
I'd like to know, what are your predictions for Uganda's real estate market in the next 5 to 10 years, considering the trends and challenges we're dealing with? And we've come to the end of this edition of the show, where we say we love you on our social media platform, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. You can find these episodes. But anyway, that's all we had for you. Stay blessed. We love you.
Next week on The Property Show.
Talk about real estate, and we talk about the pushers, we talk about the makers, we talk about the influencers, we talk about all these other things: interior designing, landscaping, construction. 15 years ago, this would not have been realistic if this body wasn't there.